Very good morning to you all. Today we are going to discuss a topic on the law of variable proportionate theory. So here under this law of variable proportionate theory states that when an increasing the number of in units of variables that is applied to a fixed factors of production. So here under this law of variable proportionate theory mainly focusing on a short run in the sense of short run production function. One is a fixed factor and rest of them might be a variable. So here land is a fixed factor and labor and capital is variable. So labor and capital we can change as per the requirements of the organization. When we require more capital, then we can go for investing on more. So if we require the more manpower, so then we have to recruit the more manpower as per the requirement of the organization. But land that is a fixed factor we can't be changed. So for that here under this factors of production mainly having over for a land, labor, capital. So these three are the input variables. So here under this law of variable proportionate theory state that when an increasing the number of units of variable of inputs, so that is applied to a fixed factor of production. So these variable factors we can go to apply onto a fixed factor of land. So that is the fixed factor of production. So here under this law of variable proportionate theory said total output first increases at an increasing rate. The total output is increases at an increasing rate. So then after it was decreasing and after that was comes to a diminishing returns. So that was tells by this law of variable proportionate theory in the sense. So here the law of variable proportionate theory will study over the short run. So here under the short run, one is a fixed factor and rest of them will be variable in the sense when increasing the number of units of variables of production that is applied to a fixed factor production in the sense. So these variables are having over for capital and labor, so that might be variable when we can increase from numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 like that. So whenever it was changing the increasing level of when it was changing the increasing level of inputs, so then what it was happening, so when it was increasing the number of units of variables, so then it was applied to a fixed factor of land. So then what it is happening in the sense, so here the marginal costing and the total returns or the average output. So what we can get over from the result of output while applying the input of these land, labor, capital. So then we have to get an outcome that might be increases at an increasing level from up to some extent. So then after it comes to slowly decreasing, then after it come to diminishing returns. So that is for a law of variable proportionate theory. As you can observe this slide, so here they can give the uh, they can give here the factors of production. Those are the inputs of factors of production: land, labor and capital. So here under this labor is a variable factor and capital is also variable factor. So these variables we can apply over to a fixed factor of land. So then the output units we will get from an increasing rate of increasing. So increasing outputs and some extent it was comes to a diminishing and after it was comes to be a declining returns. Okay, so while you can see the next slide, this was the law of variable proportions. So this law plays a vital role in our economy theory. So as this law is very helpful nowadays because it plays a very crucial and vital role in our economy. So then we can applicable this theory in our business. Then we have to get much possible returns. So here also having to see on the explanation of this law of variable proportionate theory said it examines the production function with one factor variable keeping the quantities of other factor fixed. Just now we are discussing. What is that? Here, if this theory was examined, the factors of production with one factor is variable and keeping the other quantities might be fixed. So here that we are taking the land is a fixed factor and the labor and capital, these two are the variable factors, because this law of variable proportionate theory will focusing on to a short run duration. Okay, in other words, it refers to the input and output relation. So this law of variable proportionate theory refers the input and output relation, in the sense when output is increased by varying the quality and quantity of one input. Okay, so in the sense what the relation that was just shows over this input and output is, whenever a change in input, so then definitely change occurs onto an output. Because the input is a variable factor of labor, we are taking one labor, then our total returns is for 10, and so then we can take for a two labors of our total return in the sense output, that is for 20, and 3 labors 30, 4 labors 40, 5 labors again 40, because it comes to slowly declining. So at 6 labors it comes to 30, and again 20 and 10, in the sense what one it was increases from up to a 5 labor, then after while we can increasing a number of manpower in the organization, but it not be increases. So whenever if you want to increase the production quantity in the organization, definitely we can go for using some techniques, tools. Okay, some of the techniques and tools. So along with that we can go to adopt the advanced technology. Okay, we can go to adopt the advanced technology. So then what it will be happen, then we have to increase the productivity of the organization. So instead of that we are using the more manpower, so that not be possible to get over a more production. So this was the statement that was given by the law of variable proportionate theory. Whenever the inputs of a labor will increases, but never we can increase a output of the production. So but it was increases only for some extent, so then after it was definitely come to a declining stage. So that is the thing. So next we have to here some of the economists will give the definitions over this law of variable proportionate theory, as you observe that by Benham will set the definition over the law of variable proportionate theory, and Samuelson is also give a definition over that, and Obey left which is also give the definition on law of variable proportionate theory. Okay, so next here having some of the assumptions over for this law of variable proportionate theory. So assumptions in the sense, so what the thing that was having to listed over, so while we can go to apply this law of variable proportionate theory to practically in our business organization. So at that time, so this theory is 100% applicable. So in which of the time this was not applicable. So if what the things we can follow to apply this theory successfully onto our business organization. So here are the some assumptions are listed over. So while we have to follow these conditions, so definitely this theory will helpful for the organization. If we are not satisfied these assumptions whatever that was mentioned here, so then this theory was unsuccessful. Okay, the first assumption is for constant technology. First one is for constant technology. So here in our law of variable proportionate theory said inputs only the variable of production, outputs that might be flexible, and we have to go for fixed factor of 1, and rest of them might be a variable factor, so that is labor, and capital is a variable, and fixed factor is land. So whatever the change occur in a labor, so then definitely change occur in a output, so that is the total returns. But here constant technology in the sense, so we are using the same technology for the same workers whom they will be work in the organization. For example, one worker is there, one labor is there, so their output is 10, and two workers is there, their output is 20, and three workers is there, their output 25, and four is there, their output 30. So they whoever they may be work in the organization, one member, two member, three member, they all might be utilize the same technology whatever they were given in the organization. Okay, so then that is a constant technology. If we want to use any other technology, if any other technical strategies we can't utilize in the, if in case we can we can utilize some more technology, then we can copying of our competitors, or if we can go for getting some more onto of our friends or to the relatives and what the networks we are having, so then we can apply in the business. So then at the time the productivity might be increases because we are using some other tools and instruments. So further this theory is not be applicable. So this theory was applicable whenever we can go to maintain the same technology. So then only we have to get the this kind of productivity, that is the output. Okay, next, factors of proportion or variable. So definitely in the law of variable proportionate theory, one factor is fixed and rest of them will be variable. Land is a fixed factor and capital and labor is a variable factors. So if these two might be a variable, so then only this theory is applicable. That is the second. Next, homogeneous factors units. Homogeneous factors uses in the sense whoever the labor we are recruiting in the organization, that is the manpower, so their work efficiency might be homogeneous, that is a uniformity. Uniformly they have to maintain, you they can't be maintained, then work efficiency might be uniformity, so it's possible. So one person will having a high efficiency to complete their work, some of may not having, but if this theory was applicable, so then definitely the labor's work efficiency might be uniform and there might be homogeneous, equal to all. And the short run. So here the second assumption is the fourth assumption is a short run. This law of variable proportionate theory is only applicable on a short run duration, because in the short run of factors of production only one is a fixed and rest of them will be variable. Okay, so in the long run all the inputs might be a variable. Land is also a variable factor. So but here under this law of variable proportionate theory, the theory will be focusing on a short run. So that's what, one is a fixed and rest of them will be variable. Well, you can see that another slide is explanation of the law. So here that this law will giving some explanation uh, over for it. So then next we have to see. So next, as you can see over for this calculation to how to calculate the total product, average product and marginal product, the formulas is there. The total product in the sense the number of manpower we are getting and how much of output we can acquire over from that, and average product we can get from total product divided by number of variable factor. Variable factor is here labor. So how much labor, how many member of labors we can recruiting. So for example 10 units of production, 10 divided by 1 member is a variable, that is the labor, so 1. So if 20 divided by 2 labors and 2, so in that way we can go to calculate the average product. And the marginal product, so here the marginal product in the sense the increment in total output due to the use of an extra unit of labor. So increment in total output due to the use of an extra unit of labor. In the sense we can get the formula is there, marginal product is equal to, so here they were giving the marginal product is equal to factors of inputs, total product divided by available labors. So here simply we can go to get from the average product. So average product values will be there. So under that we have to go and calculate it. So then I was given best view over for this preparation of table. Next slide is coming. As you can see, so fixed factor one, land is a fixed factor that remains same for all. Variable factors, as you can see the variable factors here, as you can see the variable factors. So can you are you able to see, here is the variable factors. 2 is a member of labors, 2 is a labor, and 3 labor and 4 labor. So here this total product, for 2 labors our product output will be 2, and 3 labors our output is 5, and the 4 labors our output is 9. So in that way our output we can get. So here the number of labors, what their work efficiency, that is the total output. Okay, so as you can see on a next slide, so then we have to know about for a then we have to get over from the marginal product. Okay, so here is the marginal product. So these are the total product, that is the output we can get while the work done by this input factor of labor. So then 2, then we can subtract from the previous factor. There is no previous total product, there was no number was given over for this previous. In the sense the total productivity for 2 members, that output is 2. This is 2 minus 0 is 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3, 9 minus 5 is 4, and the 12 minus 9, 12 minus 9 in the sense, so that what is the value 12 minus 9, it is 3. 14 minus 12, 14 minus 12 it is 2, right? Next 4, 15 minus 4 it is 4, 50. Here also missing one number, 15 or 14, what they were given. So 14, so here 15 minus 14 in the sense 1. So like that 14 minus 15 in the sense minus 1. So here 15. So actually here is the 15. So 15 minus 15 is a 0. Okay, so like that. So as you can see the curve from the first stage, from the, as you can see on x-axis for variable factors of production and y-axis for total product. From stage 1 it was increases, as you can see on a previous slide, as you can see on a previous slide, that is for table shows the average products and the marginal product that might be increases from some extent. So then after it was come to be declining. So that's what here the stage 1 it was shows the increasing trend, and second you can see the second stage is also come to increasing, and now slowly it was comes to a diminishing, and third stage you can see completely declining. So first stage increasing and come to diminishing, and finally this was declining on a third stage. As same you can see on a average productivity is also increasing and comes to declining. As you can see on a this was the graph. So here is the complete, and a complete table is given there. As you can see the table, here the labors they were given, that is a labor is given here, and this is a fixed factor. We can take 10. 10 is a fixed factor for all the labors land. So here the number of units from 0 to 9. As you can see over for getting a total product, as you can get a manpower of labor from increasing at an increasing rate, and our total product is might be increases from up to some extent. So it was increases up to 6th labor, then 7th labor it's constant, and 8th labor it was declining, and 9th labor again it was come to be declining. So as you can see on a marginal productivity, so then simply you can subtracting from previous to the current factor. 20 minus 0 is 20, 50 minus 20 is 30, like that we can get over a marginal productivity. And we want to get average product. How can we get the average product? Given total product divided by number of input variables. So here the labor 1, 20 by 1, 1. Next, so what is the value is here? So here the average product we can get 50 by 2 is a 25. 90 by 3 is a 30, like that it was. So as you can see on a average product 20, 25, 30, 30 it was increases. So after it was comes to be constant, then after it comes to be declining. So this is the three stages that's what having. So marginal productivity will be comes to be a negative. Marginal productivity comes to negative. So as you can see on a previous slide, the graph will comes to be negative. As you can see here, once it was increases, then next come to a diminishing, and finally it was shows the decreasing return. So okay, three stages of the law of variable proportionate theory is there. The output increases at an increasing rate from up to one extent, then output increases at a diminishing rate, then output goes to be negative value, that means crossing the x-axis. Okay, so that is the concept over for this law of variable proportionate theory. So here causes of diminishing returns. So what is the reason to becoming that law of variable proportionate theory, that becoming to get a negative trend. Some of the causes is also listed as over, as you can study over for this rest of the slides, and you have to get some more information over for that. Okay, thank you. I hope that you all might be understanding the law of variable proportionate theory. Thank you.